I did a quick video on how to put on a pair of cufflinks with a dress shirt, and one of the comments I received was, yes, but can you make it look so good with a chain link cufflink? And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's one of these. So you get, instead of the bullet back that has the hinge, you have the chain that links the two plates of the cufflink together. Quite often, you will have a smaller end and a larger side. These were actually, I'll tell you, before I show you how to put these on, I'll tell you a little story about these. These were custom made by a jeweler friend of mine who, when my mum died, she had some jewelry that she'd left over, and the daughters-in-law, she had 3 sons, the daughters-in-law all got some of her jewelry, and there was some that was a little bit old-fashioned, still solid gold, but it was a little bit old-fashioned, and none of the girls would have worn it. And instead of selling it for the scrap value, I gave the gold to my jeweler friend and said, could you make some cufflinks out of it? And she managed to turn the scrap gold into 3 pairs of gold cufflinks for myself and my 2 brothers, each engraved with our initials, and they are absolutely gorgeous. And the chain that links them together is a little bit of the old necklace that it once was one of the items. So even though obviously I'm not likely to wear any jewelry of my mum's myself, the fact that we were able to reuse and recycle some of her jewelry into some lovely cufflinks that give us a little bit of her memory is a nice little touch. However, I will say that these are some of the fiddliest and most horrible to put on cufflinks I own. And as a result, I have to say, I wear them less than I probably would if they were easier to put on. I will get a shirt to show you, to demonstrate. And what I would say is the easiest way to put them on is by doing it without the shirt on. If you haven't got somebody who can help you put your cufflinks on, do it, put the cufflinks in the shirt first and then put the shirt on. And you do it in exactly the same way as the previous one. So you make the cuff, you fold the double cuff back and you make it like that. And then you start with the outside, that's your outside edge. So you want the engraving to be on this side, and then you feed it through as you would the bullet back ones, the hinged ones. And it's fiddly, but you can just do it one at a time. You can use both your hands, and in just a couple of seconds, you've installed your chain link cufflinks. Now, what you find, if you buy an off the peg shirt, they tend to have a more generous cuff on them. But if you have a made to measure shirt with a French cuff, it will tend to have certainly for ours, we have a 2-inch allowance. So it's your cuff, your wrist size plus 2 inches is the size of your shirt cuff. And it makes that, when you've installed the cufflink already, it makes that very awkward to put on. It's like you're trying to escape from a pair of police handcuffs. Not that I've ever tried that, but I imagine that's how it would be, because it's so neat to get your hand in there, and obviously you're worried about breaking the cufflink. But that, honestly, if you don't have somebody to help you, that is the easiest way to do it. Is to install the cufflink first and then try and feed your hand into the shirt with the cufflink already installed. And for that reason, that's how I believe the chain link cufflink has more or less died a death. Now let me show you these. These are an even worse example. These are ones that my dad had bought on a cruise. These are solid silver, but they're propellers. They're lovely cufflinks. They're nice chain on them, big chunky back plate, really robust cufflinks, statement pieces. They're large, but if you look at that back plate is absolutely enormous. I could never ever feed that into a standard shirt cuff. Now, the beauty of getting a made-to-measure shirt is that you can specify the size of the cufflink hole. And the simple solution to an oversized cufflink or a difficult to install cufflink is making the cufflink holes bigger. And a simple addition of 4 to 5 millimeters extra on the cufflink hole will make your cufflinks a lot easier to install. Obviously, that has to be a made-to-measure shirt, because if you start cutting cufflink holes on a standard shirt, you're going to ruin the shirt. But if you're planning in advance, if you do have large, clunky, clumsy cufflinks like that I've never worn, by the way, because they're so big, but I inherited them, and I do like them as a piece of jewelry. Talk to your tailor and get him to, or your shirt maker rather, and get him to make your cufflink holes a little bit bigger. Most people don't even think that that's an option, but it absolutely is. And it can revitalize your cufflink box and make those ones that just sit there doing nothing, bring them back into circulation. So that is how to wear chain link cufflinks. I hope that helps.